It's 6 o'clock and time to call our council meeting to order. It's Tuesday, July the 8th, and we will begin by having an invocation led by City Manager Mr. Keith Morrison, and the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll ask Chief Terry if he would mind doing that for us. Everybody, please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the
Ms. Walker, would you please call the roll?
Honorable Mayor Fowler,
Here.
Honorable Councilman Bilbrey, Honorable Councilman Williams,
here.
Honorable Councilwoman Hawkins,
Here.
Honorable Vice Mayor Hill.
Present.
I would ask that you please look over your agenda as well as the minutes from the last meeting, and if there are any changes or details that need to be added, please let me know.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda and the minutes. One fell swoop.
So moved.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, those two items pass. Under new business, we have to consider several ordinances and a resolution. So we need to consider 7 at this time, 725-25, 726-25, and Resolution 367-25, because we will be discussing those in more detail as the meeting progresses. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second, Ms. Hawkins. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. -25. There it is. This is a proposed ordinance to change the zoning classification of approximately 6.53 acres at Mirandy Road from R1 low density residential to I1 light industrial. It did pass on first reading. It has been approved by the Planning Commission and then sent to us. It is now here for our second consideration. We need to have a public hearing before this can be finalized. So I will suspend the council meeting, and we will open the floor now for the public hearing portion regarding this ordinance. And if anyone has anything they want to add or say, now would be your time. Is there, oh, is there somebody here? That's okay.
Stephanie Lee,
Stephanie Lee. Thank you.
this property of the rezoning. My husband is on his way. He thought it was at 6:30. So what do I do?
Well, we can pass this for a few minutes, or is that? Yeah, we can just
Appreciate that.
suspend this and we'll come back to it when
said
he
we'll be
gets here.
15 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lee.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. We have temporarily suspended this 725-25. So let's move on then to item number 5. The 725-26. This is an ordinance to establish reasonable court cost and to levy a local litigation tax and establish fees for e-citations. And this is basically what the state has already passed, and that we are trying to update our situation to be in accordance with the state statutory requirements found in the Tennessee Code. This also has to have a public hearing before a final vote, so I will suspend the council meeting at this time and we'll move into the public hearing section if there's anyone that has any question or comment about that. Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing and we will resume council meeting, and I'll go ahead and make a motion that this ordinance be approved. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. 726-25 has been approved. Now we have item 6. Consider approval to purchase a JetVac Ring-O-Matic 350 VL under our Sourcewell contract membership, and that is requested by our Public Works Director. So, do you want to speak to that? Where is he? There he is, Mr. Walt.
I think it's on. There it goes. What this is for, it'll be for sewer cleaning and for valve maintenance, because I mean, it's one of those things you don't need until you need it. And here lately, we've been needing one for a while, because whenever we do need it, we're having to call on other people to come, pay other people to help us out. And for the deal we're getting on this, I mean, it's just something, it'd be hard to pass up for the money.
It may be Mr. Morrison that knows more about the money part, so I'll ask him about that, since he's the money person.
Go ahead, Mr.
How much is
Morrison.
this going to cost, and
This is a,
does Mr. Bradshaw
it's 50.
in his budget?
We did budget for it, and it's,
This is a trailer-mounted unit, 350-gallon spoils tank with a 100-gallon water tank. It will also do hydro excavation, so it gives us an additional option as well. I wouldn't recommend
probably
that.
not. That's off the record, so. Well, for the valve maintenance, we'll use it quite a bit. Because right now, we don't really have any way to clean out our valves unless we just hand dig it. And that's time consuming.
And this will make your staff's lives easier. You're not digging by hand, is my understanding. This kind of does
Yes, sir. You take the
extraction. It's
water.
kind of a,
It's a hydro excavator. You'll take the water and you'll break up the debris, and then you'll just suck it out at the same time. So,
I'll make the motion to approve up to $50,000 for the Ring-O-Matic 350.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We're ordering a new jet vac. I asked how long it would take to get here, and Mr. Morrison says we're not exactly sure, but
We'll get it as quick as we can. We don't have an answer on that just yet, but I'm sure it'll take less than a few weeks.
item number 7 is to consider approval to appoint someone to the BZA Board of Zoning Appeals for a term ending in October of 2025. This was a vacancy that was created when Mr. Tony Hogan resigned his position on the BZA, and we want to thank him for his many years of service. And this can be a time-consuming extra effort on the part of our citizenry. So we thank those who serve, and we want to consider an approval to appoint someone to serve out his term. I know that Ms. Pat Judd has shown an interest in this, and there's a Miss Farley. She's here to because she's interested in the position as well. And I don't know if the council has had any contact with any citizen who's asked to be appointed.
Name mentioned last night. I don't know the name, so
It was a mistake. I gave her the wrong last name. Yeah, it's Miss Farley.
I know. Okay, both candidates are here. I can't see Miss Judd. Where'd she go? There she is. I think it might be appropriate to have them say, a little bit about Miss Farley. You're closest. If you want to come up and, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but just tell us a little bit about, where you are and that kind of thing. What's your interest in the board?
I'm Joellen Farley. I've lived here in Allgood my entire life. So the growth of this community is important to me, and how it affects our citizens. I think the zoning board plays a crucial role in determining the quality of life in our residential areas. Speaking on personal, I know that in a single family dwelling residential area, I think it's important that we consider how it affects the residents of these areas to build condominiums and apartments. I also think that it's important to consider how commercial affects our neighborhoods. I know I live on a single road, a one-lane road, dead end, and there's commercial vehicles I've had damage to my property from. So I think that being on the board, I'd have a little say, and I think that all of us who are on that board, if I'm chosen, should reach out to the community and see how it affects them. So that and Allgood's important to me. So that's why I'm here. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Miss Judd.
As she said, she was a resident all of her life. I'm an implant. I've just been here 34 years. So, but, excuse me, I also am concerned about what's happening. I'm also concerned that we don't have any places to build many houses. We don't have any places to do much commercial property. We don't have that. But I've got 30 years of real estate experience, so I understand the principles and why we do this and why we do what we have done. I know we've all made a few mistakes in some of the way the zoning has been done over the years. I know when I was mayor, I know several things were done, but, you know, that's been 15 years ago. And I just want to see our citizens happy and well and understanding why some of this stuff has to be done. Okay, thank you very much.
This tonight, but I'd be interested in it. John Roberts, live in Allgood, been here for 5 years now. Cookeville, Middle Tennessee area all my life, but 25-year construction history. Been on the private side, the public side, on both. Done roads and bridges to just commercial development. I've always thought it'd been interesting to do, and happened to be here tonight and you're talking about it, so I thought I'd throw my name in the hat.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Mr. Roberts, do you live in Allgood?
I do live in Allgood.
Okay. I'm trying to think of the requirements, and I don't think that is one, but I just wanted to ask if you did. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Pardon? Oh, is it? Yes, and I'm sorry about that, Mr. Williams. We want to have some time to consider these three, and at the next meeting, you know, we could close the nominations or whatever as of tonight, and at the next meeting we can proceed with it. Or if is it holding up anything? Do they still have a quorum on the BZA?
They do still have 4 members, so council is fine if they wish to wait and consider it another month. It's definitely an option if you want to do that. You've got 3 individuals, so a council member can make a nomination from those 3, and then if somebody seconds it, it would go for a vote.
Okay, sure. Mr. Williams has made a motion to table this until our next meeting. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Let me just clarify for the record. That is tabled with nominations ceasing, and the 3 names that have been mentioned tonight are the only 3 to be considered. That would.
Correct. That's my understanding. Is that what you meant, Mr. Williams? And you're, okay, all right. Consider approval to award someone with a pavement repair crack fill bid as outlined in our bid form. And we have that, and we looks like that we've had 2 bids, one from Copeland DRP and one from McLeod's Asphalt.
I'm not sure I can answer that. I don't know. That happens sometimes. We bid it back out. The first time Copeland bid it and no one else, and there was a lot of questions and different variations. I do know McLeod's was specific in the $6 a square foot is asphalt laid by machine. If he does handwork, it's $15 a square foot for asphalt, which we do our own handwork. So this will be bigger jobs that require a machine. And that was one of his specifications. Also, one difference in McLeod and Copeland is Copeland included saw cut asphalt to prepare as part of the asphalt bid, where McLeod separated it out. So I did run you a sample. If you did 1,000 square foot of pavement, 500 linear feet of crack fill, grind for 300 square feet, cut for 300 square feet, and lay binder for 1,000 square feet, Copeland's total price based on these bid amounts would be $25,750. McLeod's for the same amounts would be $12,800. They're both qualified applicants. Now, McLeod's doesn't do as big a jobs. They're not going to do, a whole street like when we did with Mirandy. You're going to have to get someone like Copeland DRP or Rogers Group to do something that big. But he can handle the small patches, and he has done work for us in the past, and it's held up fine. He is local. He is here on Mill Street in Allgood, so I think we're fine with McLeod's. I would recommend McLeod's. Do you agree with that, Mr. Bradshaw?
The motion has been made to award McLeod's Asphalt to do the pavement repair and crack fill. That's been a motion made by Mr. Williams. Is there a second? Mr. Bilbrey. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Right. Now, number 9, consider approval of resolution 367-25 to participate in the PE Partners Safety Partners Matching Grant Program. Public entity partners are one of our insurers. Applied, if that we could do that through them, and that we are able to provide a match if it's needed. Is that basically it?
It is. So we buy safety equipment, and they give us 50% back as the grant. So we're eligible to spend $3,000 and get $1,500 back on anything that can be applied to safety improvements for the city. That includes safety vests, cones, barricades. We've used it for winter clothing. We've used it for rain suits. We've used it for things for the fire department. There's a whole long list of things that are applicable to this grant. So basically, we purchase it, and we send them all the receipts, and they send us a reimbursement for half, up to $3,000. We can get $1,500 back.
This is something we've already in their budget.
Yeah, it's already going to come out of their budget. It's just materials that we would already buy, and this way we can get reimbursed for half of it.
Well, I make a motion that we approve resolution 367-25, and if they are willing to spend $3,000, or we're spending $3,000, they're giving us $1,500 back, I think that's a pretty good deal myself. So I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 367-25. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Right. Item number 10 is approval of an agreement with Performance Services, and Mr. Morrison can tell us about that.
So the city attorney is reviewing this. He has asked that we table it. I have sent you all the agreement. The agreement for this is to look at the city as a whole and find the cost savings and try to help apply those cost savings to other projects. One of the projects is the new park. So we've got that agreement that we're looking through. The attorney needs to review it, so this will need to be tabled. We'll also have more information at the July 26th Allgood Coffee if residents want to come and look at those and discuss and visit with us, we'll be glad to do that. So we're still working on this, so we'll need to table it tonight.
Item number 10, I make a motion that we table this for approval of this agreement with Performance Services to be able to let our attorney look it over. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I think before we get into the reporting, that we should probably go back. Mr. Lee is now here, and it's 7:25:25. This is the ordinance that was approved by the Planning Commission, recommended to the council that we change the zoning classification of 6.53 acres at Mirandy Road from R1 low-density residential to I1 light industrial. This was passed on first reading at our last meeting, and now it is appropriate that we have a public hearing to address this matter before any second vote. So I will suspend the council meeting and we will move into the public hearing section. And I'll ask if there's any residents here who'd like to be heard on the proposed ordinance. I guess that Mr. Lee. Okay.
So first, I apologize for being late, and I appreciate your patience and allowing me time to get here to express my opinions. So I do own the house at Mirandy, and I guess my biggest concern here, I don't want to stop progress. Obviously, that's how we grow, but it feels like that, because my property is so small, that it's going to end up being a little island out there, and I feel like, just to cut to the bottom line, I'll be harmed by this, or could be harmed by this, and in the value of my property and everything else. I do want what's best for all good. I want what's best for me, obviously, but I try not to put my opinions and my views first. So a little background on me: I was 32 years with the federal government, licensed engineer with the state of Tennessee, and I understand putting your personal needs and opinions aside for the good of the public, and I don't mind doing that. And I'm looking at this and what little I know about it, and I'm thinking, is this the best use of that land? Have you studied it? Has anyone looked at what value it would have putting houses out there? Because I keep hearing that you don't have any place to build houses, and yet here's a large area, and it may not be suitable for houses, I don't know, but generally in the government we do a study, and we would look at what the best and most profitable use for the people is, not for individuals. And if the best use of it for the people is what you're proposing, then I'm all for it. But even if it hurts me, but I wonder if it does that, because it's going to affect all the areas around it and the property values, and that lowers the tax base. If you lower property values, and you may make it up on the commercial, or I think you're going industrial here. There's one thing in there that really bothers me, and that's the meat processing plant. That's a possibility down the road, and what happened. And I know that we're starting out with one plan like that. Once you've zoned it, the cat's out of the bag, and you can't go back and change that. And I think it'd be pretty hard to reel that back in. The other thing I want to say is this is the face of Allgood. People don't always drive through Allgood, but everybody drives down 111, so everybody's going to see this. Is this what you want representing Allgood? And it may be a beautifully landscaped. I haven't seen any plans on it. My understanding is there's no site plan until after you've approved this, which seems to me like you got that. If I were on the board, I would want to see some sort of plan or some sort of idea other than just a lot of verbal stuff about what you're going to do out there. But this may be how you do business, and I'm not criticizing that. But at the same time, if it changes down the road, I'm stuck with it, and you are too. My biggest concern for me and my property is that there's property that's, I guess Mac Construction has closer to 111, and there's property it has behind me, away from me, next to this other house, and I'm concerned about access through there. And if they put a road through there, there'll be noise and trucks and things like that, but there's also safety issues there. When you come over that hill, it's kind of blind a little bit. And this may be getting ahead of what you're doing here tonight, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to back up, I guess, if you already zoned it industrial, if you don't approve access there. But I would ask that you don't approve access through Miranda or somehow restrict that and have them access off of 111, because it's already congested out there when you try to get on 111, and you're going to add to that with truck traffic. And truck traffic's a little different than car traffic. I think it's going to improve. It's going to decrease the safety there. And there may be ways around that, but I don't know. This is all out in the future when you develop your plans, but now's the time to consider that and whether you even want to go down that path. And so, I guess I have concerns. I have a lot of questions. I guess they'll be answered maybe in the next phase, but I would ask you to consider if that's the best use of this property. And I did talk to one of the other, the other house that's right across from me, I guess on Miranda, the next closest one, and it was a renter, so I guess they're renting that property. And it may be that there's a lot of renters out there, I don't know. But I guess I don't want to be the fly in the ointment here, but at the same time, I do want you to consider the effect it's going to have on all the residences out there. And I don't see any more residential build up there. I don't know what Allgood's plan is for building your neighborhoods, but I would think you'd want to attract families in here more than you do businesses, because people drive by, they want to see a place they can call home and raise their families, and there may be other places to do that. But I suggest there's other places to put industrial too, away from your main thoroughfare out there. So I guess that's all I have. I wish I got here earlier. I'd like to be considered for a position on the board, but I guess that's already passed. I'm retired, so I don't know if I really want to do that, but maybe in the future I would be interested in that, because I do love the community and the people, and like I said, I understand public service, and I think that's what everybody wants, is what's best for the. And I thank you for your time.
I don't know how to address this. I'm John Roberts from Mac Construction. I agree, want the best for the city. I can understand that. I do think it being on a major thoroughfare lends itself way more to commercial, industrial than residential. When I'm buying a house, I don't want to be on 111. Take me back half mile off 111 and then we're great. Just my opinion. The noise from 111, it would be an issue for residential. It's not going to hurt for my construction shop though. We plan to follow all of the zoning requirements, the development properties. I think we talked about some trees around the property in different places and stuff like that. That's all in the plan to do.
I was going to say, I think Mr. Lane had spoken at one time that there would have to be a buffer zone.
It's a requirement in our ordinance that where commercial abuts a residential, there has to be a vegetation, structure, wooden fence, something.
And that is in your proposed plan.
We don't have a proposed plan yet, but that is
But
in
I
our
mean,
thought
in the,
process. Yes, ma'am.
okay.
That'll be enforced on the building side. You won't have.
Light industrial. Second plan?
I didn't think it was in the I-1.
It's a conditional use listed in I-1. Yeah.
It'd have to go in front of the board of zoning.
It'd have to go in front for approval as a conditional use.
It'd have to go before something.
I think it would have to go maybe back to the Board of Zoning Appeals. A conditional use would be a daycare center, convenience market with a gas pump, telecommunication towers, self-service storage facilities, and a meat processing facility. So I can understand what the Lees are saying, that if you sell out, you decide that's, you don't want to do that, then other not so, I guess, savory, not to make a pun, but facilities might come in there. And like you say, Mr. Lee pointed out, once we zone this, the cat's out of the bag. But again, as Mr. Morrison pointed out, to Mr. Lee's point, that it would have to come before, I think I'm right about this, to be approved by the Board of Zoning Appeals for a conditional use. So hopefully that would take care of an issue that you are concerned about. Yeah. No, you can, it's a public hearing.
This is on my second meeting. I come to one the other day. But, you know, I read that in there and I understand that too. The point of like a barrier, kind of higher than the property around there, so 6 feet that cleared out, so the only thing buffering would be trees, which not gonna be anything really that will effectively provide what your regulation.
Well, now the buffer can be trees. It ain't 6 foot board fence. That's an option, but it can be trees and actually calls for vegetation.
I saw that too, and I went over and looked at what's between UPS today. I drove around there. Housing they built. That's pretty effective because they've got a berm. They built up a berm and they put the trees on top of it. What they're doing, because they're about the same elevation, that was sufficient. But I'm so much higher. It drops off in there, and it's already going to cause noise because the trees they cut down. I understand that's his property. As far as like meeting the regulations, it's not going to be effective. I think there's any way to do it. There is, you could do that, but I don't want to create a lot of headache, but I'm just saying that I don't see any way that I could be made whole again. I don't see how I can be put back. These are burning, let's wait 20 years from here, you know.
Right in your lot.
That's a very good question. I don't know, and that was one of my other questions. I need to go calculate that, I guess. I should have done it before the meeting. Get you an answer and get back.
Yeah, problem.
About 20,000 square feet in your lot, I believe,
Is it? That's
which is
about
about a half acre, 43,560.
There's a
Yes.
trigger in there for what you can do with this industrial.
The quarter acre's 10,000 feet.
43,000 something.
Sound right. 43, so half would be 21. Know that I have to have it. It's a pretty small lot. The house takes much. And if you have to do any work out there on the main road, you're gonna eat it from the yard.
I was thinking if you went I was thinking if you went I-1 later on or something, if that would constrain on you.
We like it. It's right now, expect the future, I don't want to guarantee it. I don't want to be, this is severely limits market. I used to get people. I don't see anybody else going to buy it. Why would I?
Like you said, you're the eye.
Well, I mean, you see, you're kind of boxing me in here with this move because it seems unfair, really. There's no competition. I dealt with government, we used to do contract rewards and everything. I get it. Competition breeds honesty. Lack of competition does not.
What's-
There's some north too. So there's I-1 south and I-1 north. Right across the road is Specialized Something Industry, and they are I-1 as well as the RLC facility. And then south of that property
Is
is CA, and then it goes to I-1 again with Hub Circle and UPS and FedEx. All of that's
I'm
I-1.
talking Oakley Circle.
Oakley Circle is R2. So there's R1 and R2 over there bordering. There's R1 across the road from Mr. Lee in those houses. R2 is on the backside with Oakley and the duplexes.
City owns a section adjacent to, is its own.
The City of Allgood owns the section adjacent to that property, and it's zoned R2 as well. It's on the right side of Oakley as you drive down through there.
Yeah. I'm curious. Question for Mr. Lee. Were you able to attend the planning committee where this was? I mean, you raised valid points, valid concerns. The whole reason why we have a planning committee to make a recommendation to this body is to kind of vet out some of those, and your points are well made, in my opinion. Did you have a chance to attend that and raise those points with them?
I did not, it's my fault. So I didn't get the letter that was sent out in time. I missed the meeting. I've been out of town. That's on me. Actually, there was a letter come out. I would offer maybe some constructive feedback here in the future. I'll send out a letter for every meeting. That just the meeting. If someone misses the first one, not to come. Not everybody catches the first one. I did would have.
I think maybe this is something that maybe we could send back to the planning commission to, or
My concern is that the most success recommendations is not aware of the city. Are they aware of those concerns? I mean, I didn't think of these concerns, and here we are on the second reading. If we approve it on this second reading, his concerns, well, I mean, he's bringing them up before the final, vote is cast. I want to make. I think it's. I'm almost with the mayor as to should this be sent back to planning for them to hear from him and consider those concerns. That's where I am.
I have another question then, with your thinking.
Yes, sir.
I mean, this is a piece of property that is adjacent to 111. Would you want to live there?
Again, I'm going just on process of has planning the committee that makes a recommendation here. They've made a recommendation to this body, and they're kind of tasked with hearing these concerns, working through these concerns, and then make a recommendation to there. I think that's a pivotal step for us. I think that's critical. And did that happen here? Whether he was out of town, whether notice, I know there's signs even posted. I mean, that's my concern is the person that's got the property that's impacted, make sure they're heard and concerns are addressed, and then a recommendation is made thereafter before it even gets to this body. So that's kind of where I am is did the recommendation take into consideration those issues?
To my point on that was, going back to the board doesn't affect me again, because I feel confident that what's best for the city, for this piece of property, is in commercial or industrial, whatever. I do apologize that your property is that little parcel that is going to be affected. Because even if I don't do anything else but just clear the trees, your parcel is completely affected. Because right now, you use a nice little house in the middle of a big wooded section, and that's no longer going to be the case.
Okay, I think that it's time to, having heard everyone's concerns, that we'll close the public hearing portion of relating to this ordinance, and we'll move back into, we will reopen the council meeting. And I think Mr. Williams wanted to speak to how we handle item 4.
I think you had a motion to approve it, so we need to see if there's a second. Roger did.
All right, the motion's been made and seconded that this be approved for ordinance 725-25 to rezone. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
I'm going to oppose that one. And I'll qualify that just because my vote is purely on the concerns raised tonight, and that's why.
All right. All right, now I think that we have covered everything on the agenda to the city administrator's report.
I want to commend Director Phipps and Mr. Bradshaw and Chief Judd and Chief Terry for all of their hard work for the Let Freedom Ring event. Guys did a great job, especially with me out of town. So having all good, all of that, and all that you all have done, and all the staff. And that's a Saturday here at City Hall that we'll have open for council and city officials, and the public can come in and have coffee with us and talk about future plans and park and things that are going on and any concerns they have, and just being open, just kind of kick back and have coffee and a few snacks and have an open meeting for open discussion. So no business, just open discussion. Department heads, do you have anything?
In June, the Allgood Fire Department, we responded to a wide variety of calls from brush fires, hazardous materials incidents, vehicle accidents, and medical emergencies. I'd like to say a real quick thank you. In the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple pretty serious calls, and police were right there with us. Their help was invaluable. Also, I would like to introduce our full-time firefighter, Nicholas Polito. Nick is a paramedic captain with our department. He has moved. He moved to Allgood with his family about a year and a half ago. We're excited, and I want to officially welcome him to the fire department.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard. We look forward to working with you.
Okay. For the public works, we did a total of 645 work orders last month, and we're working on sidewalk repairs, if you haven't noticed, around town. So just kind of be on the lookout for those guys. And we've been doing some cut and repair asphalt patches, and just kind of keep an eye out for that because the guys are out on the streets. And just been doing a lot of mowing and keeping it going. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, they are. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That is Upper Cumberland Electric's
It
private
is.
contractor, but we do call them regularly.
Yeah, I got his email, so.
I usually bore you with a lot of stats, but I'm going to change that up a little bit tonight and honor somebody. A little remiss about doing this. Deputy Chief Swallows, if he would come out here, I'd appreciate it.
So you know what I'm gonna ask. How, how many positions do we need to fill in the PD? I know we had one just quit.
2.
Okay, I know one, I don't know the other. Okay, so we've got 2.
2 available right now.
Okay,
We hopefully have all the crossing guards hired for the August school start date.
oh,
I
that's
don't wanna
great.
jinx it.
Woo, that'll make the parents
do.
happy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrific. Well, good. I got tired of reading on the internet that we weren't the place to work for and that we wouldn't pay people. So I'm so glad we've got that worked out now. Do we have any citizens who haven't spoken who would like to say anything at this time? This is the citizens. I didn't say the council. Wait a minute. Wait your turn. All right. No citizens. So, all right, Mr. Williams.
Danny's not here, but I know he has gathered all the information. He is finding 2 final addresses, and we were filing suit. So I don't have any update beyond that. They've identified them, but I think they were still looking for an address. So. Wade confirms they've been working on it at the office, so he.
I'm careful about yeah. Anything else from any of the council? All right. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And any opposed? Okay, meeting is adjourned. 6:55.